welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadel Kabir. Absolutely excited that you're here for our political conversations that are very simple, truthful. With Herman Manyora putting them across in a hard-hitting way. How are you doing?
Good.
It's a good day. Talks are starting today.
Oh, today. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Kenya
starting, eh?
Yeah, today.
Wonderful.
Kenya Kwanza team, although has said that they will not be held at ransom by Azimio's demand. On Monday, Raila gave them an ultimatum that they should start these talks within 48 hours, and they're starting today. So general feeling from your side, how are you feeling about it?
It's good. Like I've said before, let's have less conditions. Let's have less demands in terms of ultimatum. Let's reduce that. Let's just start the talks.
Start the talks, you say. Again, Azimio's side has launched a scathing attack on Jubilee members of Jubilee senators that have joined President William Ruto's side. Some of them are working together with Yala MP Kanini Kega to oust Uhuru from his party. They've taken out ODM rebel Tem Ojenda, kicked him out of the committees. This is the start of something new. They have always told Kenya Kwanzas to stop this poaching.
My position has been very clear all through. That we must grow our democracy. We must have serious political organizations called parties. We fought so hard to have multi-party democracy. So hard. People died. I believe strongly that if your differences with your party have reached a point you cannot reconcile, walk out of the party. Walk out of the party and please seek mandate from those who elected you.
Okay.
On another party.
Now
my position is very clear. So the rebel MPs, in fact, and I've said something more than this, and I want to repeat it because I have faith in this country. If this country doesn't break down, we will move on, and in the process of moving on to greater heights, people will pay for their the atrocities and the mistakes they are making now. Those who have crossed over, obviously, in a very clear way, like Kanini Kega, for example, Sabina Chege, Tom Ojenda. Even if, because of the way you do our things, political parties, what do you call it? That political parties, registrar, political parties,
tribunal,
useless, tribunal, not doing anything, our courts delaying justice. Even if they don't get caught up, because they say the wheels of justice grind slowly. When I'm complaining, somebody reminded me this morning, I think it's Ocean, that the wheels of justice grind slowly. I know it's true. Even if they get away with this, one day we will catch up with them. Please, you're a young man, note this down.
I remember.
They will pay for money they are earning where they ought not to be in parliament.
This is the same thing you told the Ruto's team UDA when they left Jubilee. And now they have taken over power.
Yes. Power is transient. You can't be in power forever. There are people who are paying today for the atrocities, for the misdeeds, for the crime of 30 years ago. Time will catch up with you. Those who are earning money and they ought not to be in parliament today, in the fullness of time, one time, they will pay that money. Some of them will be old. They will need that money to survive on, but the public will take that money from them.
What is your general assessment of the speaker? Because the ball is on his side of the court. And in Sabina's Chege's case, the speaker said that the Azimio did not follow the right standing orders. Remember, when it came to which is the minority and which is the majority side in parliament, he gave it to the majority, to Kenya Kwanza's team. What is your assessment about Moses Wetangula, the speaker?
Wetangula is a good man. He's a lawyer like me, he's a friend, he's a very good man. He's a fine lawyer. Speaks wonderful English, but the little that will have gone his way when his history is written, he's eroding it away every minute. So that he's going back the Wetangula people knew, the Moi Wetangula.
The Moi Wetangula.
The system's man who will defend anything so long as the system. When he was with Raila, he had managed to at least erase that part of his history. People had almost forgotten it. But continuously, and every day he's going at great pains and length to remind Kenyans that I am Moses Masika Wetangula of the 1990s up to the year 2007, 2008.
Don't you think it's simply politics
I like him.
The minority with their say.
You don't like me. I like him, and I'm actually advising him. You can be used to spoil your name permanently. You damage yourself. Unknown to many people again. A name is a very important thing. Your children or your grandchildren will be ashamed to have had you as a father or a grandfather. You see what I'm saying? Even as you bring candy to your children, they are also noticing such a thing. And they will be reminded by their schoolmates, their playmates. They are when the granddaughter of Tangula, that guy who messed the country.
You're exaggerating.
I'm saying the truth. I am saying the truth. People who have issues in public, their children really go through a lot of pain in school and college. I know what I'm talking about. If you have been seen, they say you are a thief. It is so painful to children at that age. They will be your grandchildren. The Constitution itself tells us in black and white to go for the substance rather than hiding in the processes and procedure. Sabina Chege has left Jubilee. And therefore, she has left Azimio. She's in parliament courtesy of that coalition. She ought not to be a member of parliament by dint of the operation of the law of this country. Wetangula is a lawyer. How can you even try to bring issues of procedure of a person who in the first place ought not to be a member of parliament? You are bringing procedure issue about her being leadership. Deputy chief. Issues of procedure. And I want to say this. Please allow me to say this. And I've said it repeatedly. I'm happy I meet people in the streets. People call me across the world. You saw that lady from the UK I was talking to her, that old lady? Yeah. She just came to tell Manyora keep on. I'm telling Kenyans, if you want this country to remain a poor, dirty third world country, continue doing this kind of things kina Moses Masika Wetangula anafanya. And if Masika doesn't see the pain I feel seeing people living in Kibra, it hurts me bad. It really hurts me bad to see fellow countrymen living the lives people live in Kawangwa. It pains me. So to us, Masika is nothing.
This is my question.
We cannot allow ourselves to go on this way. Now, one of the reasons why I'm saying we'll go on like this, we will be a poor, dirty third country if we have leaders of that caliber.
You're saying he's becoming more of a system kind of man. What is the responsibility of the president when it comes to us having these talks that we're having? And we're still seeing this poaching, we're still seeing these leaders serving him, although they were elected from a different side. What is his responsibility?
As the president?
Yeah.
Before I go there, please, this thing really pains me. Let Masika know that it is possible to be a good speaker without offending Ruto. Marende's record is there for Wetangula to see. Marende was speaker when Kibaki was most vulnerable. He didn't have members of parliament. Marende would have connived with Raila to give Kibaki hell. Kibaki would even have gone home. But Marende was an able speaker, and he never differed with Raila because of that. So let Wetangula know it is still possible to do your job well for your country and your fellow countrymen and your grandchildren.
Don't you think,
without offending
don't you think Ruto
the president?
Is different?
It's possible.
Ruto is different from Kibaki. Don't you think so?
What is the difference there? He's a president. I'm talking about a president. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about the person.
If I have given you a job, you can still do the job well without offending me. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm giving the example of Marende. He was able to do this job well. People like Kaparo were able to do the job very well without offending the people who had appointed them, who had made it possible for them to get. So I'm just telling him, Wetangula, look at Kaparo's record. And then you know it is possible to do your job without every time looking back at the president Look at Marende's record. And Wetangula will agree with me. It is possible to be a good speaker who will go in history books as a man who served his country and his people well in the interest of his children and his grandchildren without offending Ruto. Now to your question. You said what Ruto can do.
Let's first go to this side of comparing Kibaki and Ruto.
Yes.
You've called Ruto a clever man. Some people in the comments say...
So Kibaki was a fool according to you? So Kibaki was a fool.
Some people, he's cunning. Do you think you can really play Ruto the Marende way? You really think you can do that?
Kibaki might have just looked a humble man, but he was not a fool. Kibaki wasn't a fool. No, not at all. He would not have navigated through what he navigated if he was a fool. People have their own styles. There's Raila style, there's Kibaki style, there are people's style. Kalonzo has his own style. People, differences in style should not lead you to conclude Kibaki was perhaps a fool. Just differences in approach to public. Kibaki had his style. Okay. Ruto has his style. Everybody has their style. But don't say that Kibaki was a fool. Kibaki couldn't have.
I haven't said that, but I've said Ruto is a different man. This is a different man.
Smart.
Ruto is a different man.
Everybody is different from there. Are you like me?
Talk to me now about the responsibility of the president when it comes to this poaching and the talks that are to happen.
The president must stop. I have said it. I'm on record. And I was talking to somebody recently. Somebody from, I think, somewhere, I don't know. And I was telling this person, a second term is always difficult for anybody. Whether you are a member of parliament, MCA, governor, or president, it's always difficult. Because you disappoint many people when you get power. Why? Many people expect too much. Somebody helps you to win. He plays a role. But he wants to magnify that role so that it appears like if he was not there, ungeanguka ile mbaya. So the expectations from such a people make your bid for a second term very difficult. Some of them oppose you directly. Some of them even run against you. But for Ruto, even with whatever is going on, his second term, according to me, was always guaranteed. There would never have been a president with an easier second term bid than Ruto.
Really?
I just read the situation. I see the way he was, the way he won, and what he needed to do. It was going to be a walkover for Ruto. So now, what did Ruto choose to do? He chose, instead of doing what he needed to do and to have a guaranteed second term, which is just to do what you promised people, when it is difficult, you say, look, I promised from outside. I'm now inside. Some of the things I thought were easy are not easy. And these are the reasons, my fellow countrymen. I thought I could bring Unga to 100, but these are the challenges. I admit I underestimated things. So I'm going to push Unga to 130, not to 100. Fuel, I thought I could bring it to 120. It's not possible. But at least I'll bring it to 150. The people will understand. That's all Ruto needed to do. Instead, he did two things. One, he listened to outside voices that makes it difficult for him to do what he promised to do to the people. He listened to outside voices that is forcing him into things like taxes and levies. He's listening to outside forces that will lead to such a things as retrenchment. I may be wrong, and I pray I am, but I can see it coming. Now, because he knew he was not going to deliver on the promises, and he was listening to outsiders that will make him let his people suffer, he chose to guarantee 2027 by consolidating his power through bringing people from other parties to him. That's a more difficult route than this one here.
Serve the people.
Because in life, it's always easier to do the right thing. It's always easier, like saying the truth. I learned a long time ago when I was young. I could see people struggling with lies. I never lie. I never struggle. I say the truth. I even sometimes ran the risk of being sacked. I have run the risk of being sacked 3 times. Yes.
For saying the truth.
I just say, look, I've just discovered the exam I gave this student, I didn't add something. There's a question I didn't, because Somebody has come complaining, how can I, who loves your cause, how can I get a D or a C? How? I'm an A student. Then I go back to the script. In the process of adding the questions, I didn't add marks for one question. Say 20 marks. So an A student has become nobody will say that. They will say, no, we ulianguka too.
Yeah.
So now in changing, I don't have the power to change. I must involve the office.
Yeah.
Now that has landed me in trouble because somebody may think you are even trying to fabricate marks. Or you are so careless, how could you allow? So Mimi, I've learned to say the truth. In the long run, it makes you light. Because trying to protect a lie is the most difficult thing you can go through. So what the president should have done is deliver on what he said.
That's your advice.
Where things were difficult, he would make people understand. Here, I thought we could do this. My fellow countrymen, it is not possible. I even had underrated the impact of the Ukraine-Russian war. I want to come before you and beg your indulgence. It was more serious than I thought. Sitting from State House, I'm telling you, human beings, they love people who say the truth. The human psyche goes. Once you bring somebody on your side, you make them understand what you are saying. They feel appreciated and they love it. Human beings love to be appreciated. That we want to do this with you. Lakini hapa mbona ni ngumu? Na mimi unakaa kama una apologize kidogo. Human beings are very forgiving people, animals. They'll forgive you.
They won't call
and they will understand.
People won't call him
Lakini unajaribu kufikiri utafanya huku. Ati uende ukaleta kina nani wa MPs. Hawatakusaidia. Our history is clear. These people who jump always have problems in the next election.
I think you're the people that will criticize him if he does that, say that he was lying to Kenyans for campaigning.
No, not me. I understand. You know, my friend, I've always said you campaign in poetry but govern in prose. You have said many times like that.
Yeah.
What somebody said, not me who said. It's somebody's quote. That you campaign in
poetry
but govern in
prose.
Simply to say, when you quote a lady, you promise her heaven. But when she comes to the house, hey,
Mambo inachemka. We're gonna wrap it up though. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a conversation on poaching for President William Ruto. You're advising him to just tell Kenyans the truth. Simple as that.
And those people who are pushing you, tell them I'll listen to you because we need to restructure with your help. But don't push me into a hole.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.